This is the Spirit and Wellness Show. News and information from a higher perspective. With your host, Harry Wilkinson.
Yes, hello. This is your host, Harry Wilkinson, and welcome once again to the Spirit and Wellness Show. Well, I hope it's once again. I hope you're a returning listener, but if you're a new listener, welcome as well to the show where we take a look at the days and weeks events, happenings in the world of politics and science and technology and current events and just about everything that varying types of media that we are exposed to today, which often seems to be a relentless, non-stop assault. Well, I won't say assault, maybe just a saturation that increasingly I find people feeling like they have a hard time getting away from. So what we do on this show is we take a step back and we look at these things from a higher perspective. I go on the assumption that we can't really effectively break away from the information society that we live in, and it's all around us. I mean, yeah, you can turn off the computer for a while, you can put the cell phone away for a while, but all in all, we're in it. And so the healthful thing to do is to learn how to deal with these aspects of the information society, the news stories that maybe upset or perplex or anger. Commercial. These media thrive on those things because they grab attention, and attention is always what they are looking for. But you can turn that to your advantage. You turn it to your advantage by not trying to take your attention away, but giving your attention to it in a different sort of way. So I explained that when you come from the perspective of the things that are going on around you that appear to be happening to you or outside of you are really projections, creations of that which is within you. So all of these things that seem to call for your attention have potential. They have the potential for you to go into, give your attention to it, understand it for what it is, a creation, an illusion, and then once you understand that, you remember the truth about it. You remember that truth, that it is an illusion, that it's your creation, and that you put energy into it, and that you can just as easily take that energy back for use in something else. And if it's something that is troubling or disturbing to you, then you start to take that energy back. Or if it's something that you're proud of and happy about, then you recognize that you created that. That happened because of you. And in that way, you begin to look at situations differently. You look at them with less judgment. And that's always what gets us. That's always what stresses us. We're going to talk about that today because we're going to talk about mindfulness again today. I did a show on this back earlier in the year because mindfulness has been getting a lot of press lately. and deservedly so. It's just surprising to me that it's taken this long. People, those of you who have a meditation practice or do practice meditation or have, intermittently throughout your life, you understand the benefits of it. But it's always been, sort of out of the mainstream. Well, now it's making its way into the mainstream. And the most telling way that I found was when I logged onto my healthcare provider's website, and they have different tools for you to determine the state of your health and ask questions and all of those things. And one of the tools they had was to find out how much stress you have in your life. And then once they determine how much stress you have in your life, then they offer approaches to how to deal and manage that stress. So I went through and I took the test. And basically they're evaluating the things that are happening in your life, the things that are going on in your life. And they know that particular things have certain levels of stress, whether high or low stress levels. Certain behaviors contribute to stress. Certain behaviors take stress down. So they evaluate all of that. And I went through all the questions, and I came out at the end, and believe me, if they could have had like alarm bells ringing and sirens, and they would have, because they made the point that I have high stress. And so then it referred me to articles on mindfulness. It referred me to a link that I'm very familiar with, which is Mark, the UCLA research facility that has been doing this groundbreaking research on reason why it's being accepted, mindfulness is being accepted more by the mainstream community. It's because of the work of Mark, because they have been approaching it in a way that scientific people feel comfortable with, through research, and it's been standing up to the research, the rigors of research that often really effective techniques that might seem to be spiritually related, or at least related to aspects of the mind, kind of slip through the cracks, because scientific rigor hasn't quite caught up to how to measure, deal with, incorporate consciousness. In fact, scientific rigor is still wondering whether consciousness actually exists and how it does exist. And quite often those questions just aren't even asked. But I think that this mindfulness research is starting to get more science attention on things like consciousness. Anyway, I think that's probably a topic for at least one other episode, probably a lot more. So I'm going to stick with the mindfulness. And I'll tell you about Mark. Some mindfulness approaches from different people, including like psychologists, therapists, and politicians. So the Mindfulness Awareness Research Center is part of UCLA's Jane and Terry Semel Institute for Neuroscience and Human Behavior. And it is a partner with Norman Cousins Center for Psychoneuroimmunology. That's a good word. We'll talk about what that means in a minute. But just to let you know that Mark's mission is to foster mindful awareness across the lifespan through education and research to promote well-being and a more compassionate society. And this is coming from the mark.ucla.edu website. Contemporary culture in the United States is marked by extraordinary advances in science and technology. Yet coupled with these advances is an increasing sense of pressure, complexity, and information overload. Individuals across the lifespan are feeling tremendous stress, which is contributing to a variety of mental and physical health problems and diseases. Mindful awareness can be defined as paying attention to present moment experiences with openness, curiosity, and a willingness to be with what is. It is an excellent antidote to the stresses of modern times. It invites us to stop, breathe, observe, and connect with one's inner experience. There are many ways to bring mindfulness into one's life, such as meditation, yoga, art, or time in nature. Mindfulness can be trained systematically and can be implemented in daily life by people of any age, profession, or background. In the last 10 years, significant research has shown mindfulness to address health issues such as lower blood pressure and boosting the immune system, increasing attention and focus, including aiding those suffering from ADHD, help with difficult mental states such as anxiety and depression, fostering well-being and less emotional reactivity, and thickening the brain in areas in charge of decision-making, emotional flexibility, and empathy. Those are the areas in which this research has been done and has been showing profound effects. And obviously, if a major healthcare provider is referring people to this website and for information about this, it's obviously become quite mainstream. And of course, earlier on this show, I talked about an article that was the cover of Time magazine called The Mindful Revolution, which was back in January. And it was really an article just taking a look at how mindfulness is being used in a variety of different ways. And is going sort of beyond the latest self-help fad and really taking hold. And there are people such as, Congressman Tim Ryan, who wrote a book called A Mindful Nation, which talks about bringing mindfulness into politics and society. And police departments bringing a mindfulness training program. Particularly cited here is Lieutenant Richard Gerling of the Hillsborough Police Department. Hillsborough is in North Carolina, I believe. But he brought a mindfulness training program to his department to help police officers who faced a lot of stress. And I'm certain that police departments all across this country could use something like that. So, mindfulness has also been a big part of people who are very involved in technology. And it also offers an opportunity to kind of deal with difficult emotions, as I was reading to you before. So this mindfulness has a lot of aspects to it. On this show, what I do, and someone brought this to my attention, and it sounded absolutely correct, although I had never thought of it this way. But what we do here on this show is sort of a meta-mindfulness. Meta in the sense that we're talking about